Dark Souls 3. The story began one fateful Xmas day when a close friend just gifted me the game. I booted it up, and since I was familiar with Dark Souls 2, I didn't expect to like it at all due to horrible PC port on the previous version that I could not bear to play more than 30 minutes. So there I was, waking up from another grave to start my journey. Controls felt off for a third-person melee game, but I managed to get to Gundyr. And he proceeded to kick my ass. Okay. Then he kicked my ass again. And again, and again. But somehow at one point I managed to wear him down to half health. As he changed into an infested herpes-laden Kardashian, he not only killed me but probably raped my corpse too, for good measure afterwards. I kept throwing myself at this boss so much that at one point I started looking for difficulty button, but there was none. And I was thinking, but this is not fair. How can you design a game this difficult and unfair? You know what? Fuck it, I'm quitting. Okay, well, my friend paid a lot for this game. I have to get past at least the first 10 minutes. Come on! And so, I resumed throwing myself at him. After countless tries, almost like pulling my teeth out, I managed to kill him! And you know what I realized? At that moment, I felt pride, joy, adrenaline, and even more importantly, accomplishment. I felt a lot of relief because I didn't just kill him by chance or luck. I actually took time and actually figured out how to do it. And it still wasn't easy. I guess you can say that at that moment I overcome my perfect challenge. And this sort of a matchup I've never actually felt before in any other game, really. Ever since that moment, every other boss or even a simple enemy showed what a true challenge could be. And how exhilarating, exciting, and gripping can it be when you've been provided that perfect obstacle. Needless to say, I fell in love with the game, and as Jim Sterling has said once before, it's more of a git pragmatic approach. And that's true, being careful and waiting for the proper moment to strike is what creates this challenge for Dark Souls, even though sometimes it can fail too. It's certainly very rare to have a game that nails this perfectly, and yet these days the grind, the repetition of simple tasks is what seems to be the go-to feature. Yet the feeling you get from overcoming a proper obstacle seems to be an underrated thing now, which is a shame. There really is no comparison to what Dark Souls has accomplished by punishing the player and not letting it get away with a shortcut. Rather than piling more crap at you, the difficult yet sparse enemies become more menacing and personal. Defeating each one makes for a memorable battle, and in the end, though you may have that relatively shorter story, you won't forget it now, will you? And I guess if you like food analogies, then this would be just putting aside that kilo of tasteless but nutritious gruel for a delightful eclair. Still, in my time playing Dark Souls, I realized how simplistic a lot of games tend to end up being. Yes, not all of them try to be complex, nor they need to be, but when it comes down to creating that gameplay hook, that thing that keeps you going at it, throwing yourself at it, as if you're some sort of a Mothman and the game is a massive lamp, it's the hardship you go through to finish something that stays in your memory. Would you remember fondly a game for slaying thousands of goblins? Or would you prefer to remember an epic battle where you struggle for survival and somehow, some way, end up victorious?